Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, we're going to be taking a look at a new Bisharp card. And Bisharp is often a very interesting Pokemon in the trading card game. And this one, it's a weird kind of attack. Or card with a weird kind of attack. But it's a good kind of card / good kind of card of a good kind of attack. What does it do, ladies and gentlemen? Well, we should say our translation comes from the lovely David Hockman over at limitlesstcg.com/translations. And if we start off with the basics, 120 for a stage 1 is exactly what we would expect. Retreat cost of 2 is higher than we might like, but we've got Balloon. Weakness to fire is not ideal with all of the welder decks running around, boo, hiss, etc. But we do like resistance to grass. Even though grass isn't a big type right now, anytime you've got a little bit of resistance, that is A-OK by me. So cool. Oh, and you're a metal Pokemon. Metal Pokemon's great. Me's weakness on stuff like Gardevoir and Sylveon, which continues to be a very good Pokemon, means that you can always use Berserker to do a little bit of extra damage, means you've got Metal Saucer to accelerate a little bit of energy, means you can use Metal Frying Pan to take away your weakness, and in fact, mean that you take 30 less damage from attacks. It means that you've got Lucario and Melmetal to mean you take 30 less from attacks. It's a pretty good time to be a metal Pokemon. But what does it do? Well, the first attack is the one with which we are particularly concerned, and for 1 colorless energy, you do a base 30 damage, plus 30 more for each Pawniard on your bench. So now, all of a sudden, we've got an attack which should be doing 120 damage for a single colorless energy. Now, bearing in mind, we all like Zapdos, and Zapdos could do 80 for a single colorless energy. Sorry, a single lightning energy, it wasn't even colorless. Surely doing 120 is better. On the one hand, Zapdos was a basic Pokemon, but on the other hand, they only did 80 damage. Now, we do need to remember that Zapdos can use Electro Power, but even then, 2 Electro Power on a Zapdos is the same as 1 Galarian Berserker on a Bisharp. And you can keep going. Now, bench space becomes at a premium here. You really need 4 bench spaces for Bisharp, or 4 of your 6 Pokemon. So really, 2 Galarian Berserker is the absolute maximum. In reality, you're probably going to struggle to get more than 1 at a time. But still, you can be doing a fairly nice amount of damage here, especially considering that, well, it's for a single colorless energy. Now, I would be remiss at this stage if I did not mention you can actually do 150 damage here. Now, it's not going to work often, it's only going to be for 1 Bisharp, but of course at the moment we have Ditto Prism Star. Ditto Prism Star is a basic Pokemon, a Prism Star Pokemon, that can evolve into any Stage 1 Pokemon. So essentially what you do is you use Ditto to evolve up into Bisharp, put all 4 Pawniard on your bench, and now all of a sudden you're hitting 150 for a single colorless energy. Now, it goes to Lost Zone when it's KO'd, and this is assuming you've got no Bisharp prized, or Pawniard prized, sorry. But if you've got no Pawniard prized, and you can get your Ditto Prism Star out, this could be really kind of nice indeed. Now, in terms of energy, we're loving it here. You can just attach an energy, or you can use Metal Saucer if you really don't want to attach an energy, or recycle energy. Because you see, recycle energy, I mean, firstly, it's a special energy, and special energy is really nice right now, because we don't have Enhanced Hammer to easily get rid of it, but we do have Guzma and Hala to easily search it out. And of course, it doesn't matter if your opponent gets rid of it, because what's really good about recycle energy is that when it gets discarded, it just bounces straight back to your hand, ready for you to just go ahead and reattach it. I know, right? It's a really, really good card in that regard, and it's perfect here. The thing about Bisharp is that you need to commit to it. You see, 120 for a single colorless energy is phenomenal. I mean, let's take Hooper as an example. Hooper is just a great Pokemon, and I don't think there's much of an argument against Hooper being a great Pokemon here. The one from Unified Minds. For 1 colorless energy, you do 10 damage plus 20 more for each of your opponent's Pokemon that has an ability. Well, best case scenario, they have 6 Pokemon out of an ability, you do 130 damage. Well, here, you're doing 120 and it's in your control. But the thing is, Hooper is a basic Pokemon that attacks for a single colorless energy, so if you want to put Hooper into your deck, it is literally 1 space in your deck. Well, Bisharp is 7 or 8 spaces in your deck, depending on whether you play 3 or 4 Bisharp, and it's 4 of your 6 Pokemon in play. And that could get kind of awkward. You need to commit to it. Now, anytime you're hitting for weakness, I mean, something like a Gardevoir and Sylveon, actually, to be fair, you'll be 10 damage short, because ordinarily you'll hit 120, double for weakness 240, but then again, just play a Vitality Band. Vitality Band means you do an extra 10 damage, double for weakness, an extra 20 damage, boom, they're gone. Or like I say, just play 1 Galarian Berserker. Against non-GXs, most of the time 130 is the most you're ever going to really need to hit. So again, you're fine here, maybe with just 1 Vitality Band, 1 Berserker, etc. But what about things like Mewtwo and Mew? Mewtwo and Mew, tag team Pokemon, you really want to be 2-hit KOing. And if you can be 2-hit KOing for 3 prizes, while they're 1-hit KOing for 1 prize, then over 2 turns, they take 2 prizes, you take 3, it's totally in your favour, and you're only ever using 1 colourless energy to attack, so you'll be fine. The issue here becomes that you're not actually 2-hit KOing. Now again, with a Galarian Berserker, you are 2-hit KOing, but it means that you need to have Bisharp, 3 Pawniard. Remember, you can't evolve the Pawniard. If you evolve them, then you lose the damage. And a Galarian Berserker. That's 5 of your 6 Pokemon already set out there. Like I said, you will get that 1 glorious attack in the early game, but a lot of the time, the 1 for 150 is the most you're ever going to have. And to be honest, if your opponent takes out Ditto before that happens, you won't even get the 1 attack. Boo, etc. Now, it is going to be very important to recover your Pokemon here. We don't have Rescue Stretcher anymore, which would be a phenomenal card here. But it is quite nice that we've got Lana's Fishing Rod. Lets you get a tool and a Pokemon. But really here, what we're actually going to be using is the new Fishing Rod card. The new Fishing Rod card lets you shuffle 2 in any combination of basic energy and Pokemon into your deck. So this is really going to be what you're using to get your Pawniard and Bisharp back. Remember, you need all 4 Pawniard at all times. You only ever need 1 Bisharp, but you still need all 4 Pawniards, so yeah. It's fairly important here that you get it back as soon as you possibly can. Now, the second attack here is nothing to write home about. 1 metal, 1 colourless energy, 60 damage. Sure, there's a bunch of evolving Pokemon this will take out, but it's not a reason to play the card. I'm a bit more excited about the fact that we actually have 2 other Bisharp that are legal in the format at the moment that you could use instead. The one from Team Up for 1 metal energy does 120 damage if you've got no damage counters on. And again, the second your opponent damages you, it goes away, but that's at least another option for doing pretty nice damage. And the one from Cosmic Eclipse is actually a Darkness type Pokemon, means you're hitting an extra weakness, and remember that from Sword and Shield, I mean, look at something like Indeedee V, Psychic Pokemon are weak to Darkness, so hitting a Darkness weakness is going to be way better than it has been in the past. Now, it's not amazing. Darkness, colourless energy, 80 damage, or 1 colourless energy, 30 damage, your opponent can't retreat next turn. But it's still really nice to have the options of these other Pokemon that could be put into your regular Bisharp deck. It is a Pokemon where you're not always doing as much damage as you might like, but 120 for a single colourless energy on a basic Pokemon is incredibly efficient. And if you really lean into this and build your deck around it, you could have a really nice, efficient budget deck. Can it stand up to the biggest, hardest hitting decks in the format? Maybe, maybe not. But it's got to be worth a test, and it's got to be worth a nice, solid, ordinary, everyday, run-of-the-mill, garden variety free Wassies. It's one that I'm going to be playing around with. And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, but at least I can say I gave it a go. But I'd like to know what you think, ladies and gentlemen, so let me know in the comment section. Go nuts, be nice, and then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassie, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCGRadio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCGRadio, where you can do exactly that. And please do make sure you're checking out youtube.com/WassiePlays, where we talk about a whole bunch of games that don't have Pokemon in, but are pretty gosh darned awesome. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.